Don't wait. Reserve your copy of the Cyberpunk Blood Honey mugshot variant now. Link below. Cancel culture thrives because of cowardice. And mobthink prospers because it's easier, because it feels good to be part of the mob. And, listen, that kind of security, that safety, that kind of validation, being part of a hive mind, that kind of groupthink, it'll cause you to do some pretty unthinkable, heinous things that you maybe wouldn't do otherwise. There's somebody on the internet he's a YouTuber. His name is Shad M. Brooks. He runs a channel called Shadiversity. He's a friend of a friend. I've never spoken with him. I think he and I would probably get along. He's a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is the faith that I grew up with. So it'd be interesting to get to talk to him. I think he's making some comics, but mostly his interest is in swords and armor and things like that. That is what his channel is about. And recently he posted something on Twitter. He said something very sad has happened. Matt Easton of Scalo Gladiato 1, that's his I think his Twitter handle, a longtime collaborator and friendly peer in the YouTube sword community, has just chosen to cut off all contact with me, Shad, and my channel Shadiversity. We just had a great day collaborating with other wonderful sword content creators. It was a great day of friendship, discussion, and laughter. Upon sharing some images of the day and filming, he received many hateful comments about me. This is how they work, guys. This is how the mob works. They identify you as a target, somebody going against their narrative, basically a hammer that doesn't need to be, a nail that doesn't need to be hammered down, but needs to be plucked out. It's like they've already decided that, a nail sticking crooked out of the wood, like Shadiversity would be, in their view, it cannot be fixed, cannot be reprogrammed, stands in opposition to what they're trying to build, this monolith, and therefore they need to pluck him out and cast him aside. And in order to do that, they have to contact anyone who is sympathetic to him. They need to isolate him. First, they find him, they point him out, and shriek, and then they isolate him, and that's when, as soon as he feels alone and he doesn't have friends, he doesn't have anyone who will stand by him, that's when they are going to swarm him. He says he's guessing that the hateful comments were of the type that grossly misrepresent and vilify my beliefs in an attempt to discredit and harm my reputation, without contacting me to find out the true context of my extremely basic and commonly held conservative beliefs. Okay, right there, they're trying to utterly destroy those commonly held conservative beliefs and blacklist, destroy people who hold those beliefs. Everything must be, quote-unquote, progressive now. Everything's got to be progressive. And conservatism, again, stands in opposition. Conservatism basically stands astride the course of progressivism and says, stop, knock it off. You're going too far. Allowing children to take puberty blockers before they even know who they are is going too far. You got to stop. Abortion in the 9th month has to stop. So these are the beliefs and the viewpoints that that are commonly held. Opposing that stuff, obviously normal people would just say, wait a second, like wait a minute. Allowing children to transition their gender before they are of the age of accountability, which in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the age of 8, is crazy. That is crazy. That seems more about validating the parent's ego than it does about helping a child. That used to be common wisdom, right? But it's not anymore. All right. So anyway, he says, He has chosen to totally and completely excommunicate me from his association, even in spite of the kindness, support, respect, and friendship I've shown him over the years of our association. Goodwill, benefit of the doubt, personal friendly interactions, and past kindness mean little, apparently. Matt isn't the first person to do this, and perhaps I'll talk about the others in the future. Join the club, my friend. He says, I'll keep Shadiversity free from politics. All are welcome, regardless of their beliefs, and I extend a hand of friendship to all those that agree with my belief, and more importantly, those that do not, including Matt. See, that's your mistake. I mean, honestly, you have to gatekeep radical, progressive leftists. You have to. You have to. They're destructive. They're bull weevils. They're parasites. They destroy friendships. They destroy things that matter. They destroy communities. He says, I believe this is essential to push for a more peaceful and tolerant world. Oh no, Shadiversity. I will watch, support, and be friends with those who have beliefs I find offensive. That's classic liberalism. That's not conservatism. That does not mean I will not stand up and be outspoken about my beliefs, nor should people censure themselves for the sake of my feelings, and people should not have to betray their beliefs just to be accepted by others. We just need to learn to get along with those that are different. For all that do not want to hear me fight for what I think is right, I separate it from Shadiversity as best I can and share any such views on my second channel, Night's Watch, or here on Twitter. I only address it now because people like Matt can't seem to understand this separation, nor associate with people who believe things they find offensive. And he goes on and on about how he's shocked by how rapidly society is deteriorating. And good liberal values are also completely evaporating, and they're being held. I mean, liberal values are now basically being held by basic conservatives. That's the Overton window has completely shifted. He says at the end of this, he says, all Matt needed to do was ignore the outrage mob and show true tolerance, acceptance, and accept my hand of friendship, as that is what we need to do to push for a truly tolerant and peaceful society. Matt, as shown by his example, would rather we all excommunicate ourselves from those who believe things we find offensive, live in a divided world where we openly hate and vilify all those people with problematic opinions. What a shame and what a disappointment. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? People that you've grown up with, people who you've known all of your life, who you think are your friends, will kneel to the mob. They will bend the knee to the mob, and you almost can't, like, you want to blame them and you just want to shake them and say, what's wrong with you? But they're just people who are taking the path of least resistance. They were never your friends. They were acquaintances. You know, they sided with a faceless mob over you, somebody that you felt, you know, that you knew, somebody who previously they would have called a friend, you know, all just in order to appease these pitchfork holders. And here is what's his name? His name is Scolo Gladiatora. Scolo Gladiatora. Scala. Anyway, here is Scala. I think that's how to pronounce it. Scala Gladiatora's message.
Scala Gladiatora. Dear community fans and members, this is the kind of post I normally try to avoid. You will notice that this morning I have removed a post that I made while I was away, working and traveling yesterday. At quite short notice, I was kindly invited to get together with a very group of people to do some filming. I don't normally turn down such opportunities unless I have some concrete reason. Even if I have factual and non-damaging disagreements with another person involved, I try to beat views that I disagree with fact and argument. One of the people involved yesterday, as it turns out, is highly, personally offensive to a lot of people that I care about, both here and online. I did not know the depths and complexities of the issues with that person before yesterday. I don't care if someone has historical views that I disagree with, I will argue with them. But I do deeply care if a person has views that I deem to be venturing into the realm of bigotry, such as sexism, racism, or homophobia. That is absolutely and obviously a line in the sand for me. I have interacted with this person over the years, including posting video rebuttals, arguments, responses, etc. on historical matters. I had not experienced anything negative with that person, other than disagreeing with a fairly large number of points that person made, as evidenced by my video responses over the years. Example, what is HEMA? However, yesterday, after filming, it was brought to my attention that on their second channel, one I've only visited a handful of times a long time ago, this person is now promoting political and social views which are absolutely against my own views, and indeed against the principles of groups and events that I've run. I was not aware of the nature and extremity of this person's views before yesterday. People can, of course, voice their views in a free society, but I am equally free to disapprove of, disagree, and disassociate with those views, which I hereby do in black and white terms. I do not align myself or in any way agree with that person's views on these topics, which should be patently obvious to anyone who knows me or who has followed my channel closely. I filmed one video with the person yesterday. I had already decided last night not to publish that. I have now also taken down yesterday's post because I want to move on from and disassociate from them. I understand that many people will be angry that I have collaborated with that person at all, even before I knew their views, and I hope that I will partially appease you. Did I partially appease you? To know that I will not associate with them again. Now that I know the full facts, and that there will be no output from yesterday's filming coming from me. For people who are upset to read this and did not know about this person's views, I suggest you go and decide for yourself. But I know where my line in the sand is. Now this page will return to its usual content. Apologize for the diversion.
You know, it's not just that these people and people like him are making the choice to disassociate themselves from people who hold conservative views. It isn't just that. I mean, that's one thing, and it would be bad enough, especially when that person was previously considered to be a good friend of yours. The ridiculous part is the ritual that they all feel like they must perform, the ritual of denunciation, to drag this friend who would be basically, I mean, you know, if this person, if Shad were somebody who were, in this guy's opinion or views, a marginalized person, you know, somebody who they consider to be special and a protected class of person who is thus vulnerable to harm, you're putting your friend in a very precarious position by dragging him, and everybody knows who it is, even though you're too cowardly to actually speak his name in your denunciation during this struggle session. You're putting him in a precarious and vulnerable position where he will be attacked, his life will be made more difficult, and all of these things, just so that you could receive what? Some internet plaudits, some back pats, some people saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. Oh my God, one of your friends was like a Republican? That's disgusting." That's the kind of cowardly, sick and evil behavior that this individual has engaged in my opinion. And I would call this evil cowardice, the two things together. And often both of those things are aligned. To bring your friend up before the howling, stupid, hateful mob, announce that you agree with the mob about your friend, to imply that your friendship never really mattered to you, and then to toss him to the wolves and to say that I find his views reprehensible or something like that. That is a ritual denunciation. It is what SJWs do, and this dude is, sorry to say, like, you know, I don't want to be the kind of guy who judges others. Like, that's the last thing that I want to be. But this dude is a piece of shit, and for doing that. This is entirely unnecessary. This is why he's a piece of shit. This is entirely unnecessary. This screed, where you call him that person, is entirely unnecessary. It is abusive, frankly. This is an abusive and cowardly, sick and evil thing to do to another human being. And this dude should be ashamed of himself, but he won't be, because he's going to receive a whole lot of warmth and sympathy. He's going to receive maybe some applause. And some people are probably going to welcome him back into the community because he did what is needed, and that is to destroy somebody who is swimming against the school. Listen, here's the thing about this, my goofy, cowardly friend. Unless you have a backbone in 2023, unless you're somebody who can stand up bravely against this faceless, cowardly, sick mob of hyenas, they're going to come for you next, and I can't wait until they do. I'll be here laughing, and I will be applauding. I'll say, good, you got what you deserve. That's just the way it is. When I started out with Comicsgate, I really did feel like the answer to how to deal with these demons was just to you know, ignore them, push back against them just by succeeding. But I don't care anymore. I really don't care. They're very upset right now because I released, for my hit comic book Cyberfrog Blood Honey is going into its 4th printing, and I decided, hell with it, I'm putting Trump on the cover. Never surrender. Never surrender to these people, ever. Never do it. It will not pay. And unless people get a backbone and realize that standing up and pushing back and being brave is the real line in the sand that we all need to draw. Yeah, I'm disgusted by that. I'm sorry. You know, I don't know Shad at all. I don't think he knows me, but you know, to use an SJW phrase, I'm actually literally from a human point of view, sorry that happened to you. SJWs always say, I'm sorry that happened to you, when they're all receiving criticism for the awful things that they do to people. But I am actually literally sorry that happened to you. It sucks to realize that somebody who you thought was a friend is not a friend, and to witness the cowardice of these people. It's really terrible. Thanks for watching this video. Leave me a comment in the comments section below. I'm going to go back to drawing. Appreciate all of you, and take good care. I'll see you again soon with another video. Follow All Caps Comics on Twitter, or X, or whatever, at CyberFrogHD. And be sure to check out all our links in the description below.